Well, I'm not ashamed to say I was wrong on this one. The holiday season is officially upon us with the first Christmas movie release of the year. If you don't count Terrifier 3. In parts, it's actually more Christmassy than this film, which, if you stop and think about that, it's a pretty wild thought. Now, this movie had a bit of a cheat code. Seeing this in IMAX recliner, which could make Venom a fun experience. But was this warm and sweet like my hot chocolate? Or yet another 2024 dud? Red One has somewhat of an interesting premise, at least on the top of my head. I can't think of it being done before. Santa Claus gets kidnapped and his helper elf needs to track him down. Right from the opening scene, I got that Christmas feeling. With the music and the Christmas jumpers and presents. And a young Jack who doesn't seem to believe in the magic of Santa and Christmas. Then jumping 30 years to the naughty, naughty man he is. JK Simmons is in the role of Santa, and this is just more proof in the pudding that this guy can do anything. I have to say though, he's really in it a surprisingly tiny amount. This movie certainly goes down the mythical route. The fact that we meet the likes of Krampus and a polar bear joining the crew, and other creatures in the elf company, building the toys. Which in my personal opinion is one aspect of the film that I'm not too big on. It is a very modern Santa film. Lots of technology, massive modern buildings in the North Pole, Batmobile-esque vehicles and fancy weaponry. And I just really miss the old-fashioned Santa's Grotto style of films that we get to see in the likes of Santa Claus and Elf. But maybe it's the fact that I'm just getting a bit old. Look at the grey. That and the CGI is very noticeable and rather off-putting at times, especially in cases like the North Pole chases and snowmen fighting. But if you are a fan of Star Wars, you may get a little kick out of a travel at the light speed on Santa's sleigh. Dwayne Johnson as his helper elf, and well, I've really soured on this man as of late. I'm surprised this guy never made himself Santa. But many reasons that I won't get into here. And I honestly really enjoyed him in this movie. He's extremely paranoid and suspicious, always smelling and tasting things given to Santa, and he's potentially on a last ride. Due to the fact that there is now more naughty listers than good eggs. And you know what? I can relate to that. It's not an Oscar performance by any stretch of the imagination, but that's not the point. He does his job well in the role. After the kidnapping of Santa, he has to end up teaming up with Jack from the start. The best tracker in the business, and basically who will do anything and work for anybody as long as they pay him enough money. And we get the normal kind of dynamic that you can imagine, someone having a lot of respect for Christmas and a level 4 naughty lister monster. It can be quite a clever movie to be honest, because Lucy Liu is like the leader of this team who protects the mythical world, which could lean into other areas and not just Christmas, possibly closing many spin-offs. But that meaning it does lay into very thick with this whole mythical aspect, which could potentially ruin the film for you, as I wasn't too big of a fan of this myself. So it's important to understand what you're getting into. The villain is just an expected, underwhelming element of the film that just feels they're there for plot purposes for these two to go against, and someone needs to kidnap Santa after all. Also, the world isn't overly clear on how it works. One minute they mention the importance, nobody sees them on Christmas. The next that you're turning toy cars into life-size models in open area and leaving these toy magical cupboards open for anybody to walk through. Overall, it may not be a cosy Christmas classic, but it's not trying to be that. It's a more fun than not Christmas flick, with a nice change being more action orientated. But it's no Violent Night. I do recommend seeing it in the cinema, but it's not a movie that I can say to rush out and go and see, but it will sit nicely on Amazon Prime. Red One gets a 6 out of 10. Above average, but not hitting the potential. Will you be seeing Red One this holiday season? And do let me know down in the comments what your favourite holiday movie is. So as usual, thank you everybody for watching, and why not check out these videos to continue the holiday spirit